Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Soma. And to all of you that keep coming back, hello and welcome back. Quick reminder, if you've never subscribed, just to remind you to click that red button there that says subscribe, and after that click the bell sign. That way you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. So in today's video, I decided to make this video to actually ask this question: what in the world is happening to Pastor Chris Oyakhilome? Like, seriously, what in the world has happened to him? And one thing I have to say, I used to be a member of Christ Embassy. I've said that before. I used to be a member of Christ Embassy many years ago. And one thing I have to say is, whether you're Pentecostal, you're not Pentecostal, whether you believe in his teachings or whatever, you know, one thing a lot of people would have agreed on is the fact that Pastor Chris is someone people see as exposed, educated, you know, to a great extent. People would say he's someone they see as being, you know, enlightened, like, you know, people look at him, you know, like that. But there are just some things that has been going on that is beginning to look like, is this the same man? Is this him? Is this him? But let's be honest, the COVID-19 hit a lot of people so unexpectedly that a lot of people struggled. Businesses struggled. Everybody, basically the whole world struggled. There's some pastors that are struggling with the fact that, you know, the churches were closed, the big gatherings were closed, so people couldn't come to church, and definitely tithes and offering are affected. We're not going to come here and pretend about that, you know. But at the end of the day, human life is important. Health and safety is very important. You know, I've said it before. God is not waiting for us in a building called the church. We are the church. You know, we are the church. If a government decides to say no big gatherings while this whole thing is going on, why should people find it so hard to accept that it is a necessity to do this? Okay, that said, like when this whole thing started, I'm going to say this. Since I have known this Pastor Chris, I have never ever known him to be somebody that got involved in politics or discuss whatever the government is doing or whatever. He's never been that type, ever. But since this COVID, he has been so vocal. Now, I want to talk about what he said recently. That I watched that and I was honestly beginning to worry for him. Like, I'm being honest. I was saying to myself, what has happened to this man? What has happened to him? Now, initially he started off with saying that this, you know, I will attach link to all these videos. You can go watch and listen to him yourselves, every single thing he's saying. But initially his thing was like, social distancing is because they are trying to prevent people from protesting, because they are trying to install 5G, because they are trying to, you know, he came up with all these conspiracy theories, and like he was saying some things that shocked a lot of people. Like, is this him speaking? And he said that what was killing people in Wuhan was not COVID, that what was killing people was 5G. There was so much he said that till date it's still hard to digest some of the things he said. And like I said, I put a link for you guys to go. You can go watch it and hear all of that. That's gone. And then another thing, he came out and he said something else. But something he said recently that that is making me make this video. This pastor came out and he's saying things that are just absolutely shocking. He said that Black Lives Matters and the protests that went on were not about the man that died. By the way, his name is George Floyd. He didn't say his name. He said the man that died. Let's say his name. His name, you know, was George Floyd. Okay. That said, he said it was not about that. All the hoopla was not about that. I posted about the whole thing. I posted about it. And I posted it because of what happened to George Floyd. But according to this pastor, the whole hoopla was not about the man that died. The protest in America, in the UK, all around the world, this pastor that is followed by millions of people, as far as I know, I think they're up to millions of people, is coming out to say it was not about the man that died. Okay, and he goes on to say from the death, and then there was the protest, and the protest, then there's a call for the cancelling of the police, defunding of the police and everything. He said it's all part of the game. That's what he said. It's all part of the game, according to him. And he said, because at the end of the day, their plan, I don't know who is their plan is to bring an alternative to security. These are his words, I'm saying. Exact word. They want to them come up with the alternative method for security. That's how he said it. The alternative method for security. So they can initiate a total control. These are his words. So they can initiate an alternative control, which will be microchip. So they want to, whoever they are, want to put microchip in us. That's why they are bringing about this so-called cancelling the police or defunding the police. So they can put microchip in people. This is what I'm saying. What is happening to this man? What is happening to this man? He said that what's going to happen is that the cities will get rid of their police and start experimenting microchip. And then everyone must get the microchip. And then with that, you're going to know everybody. Everybody will know everybody. And crime will be controlled. The microchip is another story altogether. But is there actually anything wrong with controlling crime? I'm not talking about microchip now. But does he have an issue with controlling crime? He then tried to explain that there's no racism in the United States. He said, if United States is so racial, why are so many black people going to the United States? Those are his words. He, in that sentence, undermines the struggle of, black Americans. He undermines the struggle of the black people that are in America through slavery. Does he actually realize that America is not actually a white man's land? The Europeans you see there today migrated there and slaughtered the indigenous Americans. And then they took black slaves with them. He is saying, if America is so racist, why are black people there? Why are black people going there? Did he forget? Does he not even know history? That some black people are there due to slavery. Does he this video, his video is shocking. I'll put a link for you guys to go hear from him. He said it's not true. He said it's not true that black people are angry with the United States. I don't understand. Does this man know about the struggle of black Americans? Does he know the history of slavery? I don't understand. He said, you don't go to a country you hate. You flee from a country you hate. It shows you how little this man knows about the struggle of a lot of Nigerians. I'll speak for Nigerians because I'm a Nigerian. When a lot of Nigerians migrate to the United States, they migrate because of the situation of Nigeria. But you know what? Chris Oyakhilome would not know because he does not know about the poverty and struggles in Nigeria. Then he would wonder, why will you go to America where there is racism? People are going to ask themselves, will I stay in the country where I have no food at all to eat? Or will I go to a country where I can get food to eat, but there's racism? Where I can get a job? Where even a cleaner's job can give me food to eat, where cleaners in Nigeria make $1 a week. So it shows how little he understands the struggle of a lot of Africans, how poor people are in Nigeria. He does not understand what it is to stay in a country without electricity. This man is living in the clouds. He is swimming in so much money that he does not understand why anybody will leave a country like Nigeria to go to America. He is being honest. This man is living in a different planet. And he's an African. He grew up in Nigeria. But you see, he lives such a lavish lifestyle. He lives in so much wealth. Him and his children and his children's children will never suffer in their lifetime because they live so high and mighty. He flies private jet. He lives in a mansion. He has expensive clothes and suits and clothes and everything. He can never understand why anybody would leave Nigeria and go to the United States, because he does not live the life of an ordinary Nigerian. This is how distant this man is from the reality of the life of people in Nigeria. He is pastoring people, and among his people there are some poor people that have no food to eat. And yet he does not understand why people would flee Nigeria to go to a country like America. So according to him, the protests and the Black Lives Matter and all the uproar about George Floyd, it was not about black people. That's what he said. And he said the people that were rampaging on the street, the protest, they were not black people. There were few black people in there. I'm not supposed to laugh. I'm supposed to be professional. There are few black people in there. They were not black people. That's what he said. He said it's not about racism. He said if you really want to know about racism, go to a place where you won't find black people. Go to a place where you can't find black people. Does that place exist? Black people are still in the Sahara Desert, still trying to cross. This man does not understand. So he will not, seriously, he will not. How will he understand? He is so stinkingly rich. Sahara Desert, where people are dying, there are black people still crossing. And he's going to, if going by his logic, he's going to be like, oh, people don't die in the Sahara Desert. If they die in the Sahara Desert, where will you find anybody there? People are dying, trying to cross the Sahara Desert, and they are still there. Do you know how many people die in all these inflatable boats trying to cross to Europe? And tomorrow another group would go. Another group would go. And is he going to say, nobody is dying on that sea? Nobody is dying at sea. If anybody was dying at sea, nobody will be crossing it. He does not know what desperation is. He does not know what it is to have such nothing in your life that you're ready to risk anything. He does not know what it is. Some Nigerians, do you know what happened to Nigerians in Libya? Yet Nigerians are still going to Libya till today. Do you know what they say happened to some Nigerians as house helps and everything in all these in a lot of countries, you know, the UAE and all these Arab countries, Nigerians that are house helps and have been through hell. We're talking about it. More Nigerians are still going till today. We've heard about Nigerians that went to a lot of countries in Europe to go prostitute. They show it on TV to warn others about the dangers that these girls are facing out there. Guess what? More girls are still going. You know what? Because they are desperate. But Chris Oyakhilome will not understand it because he does not live in your reality. He does not live. He is a Nigerian of a different level. I had to make this video to ask this question. What is happening to this man? Basically, then there's no racism in the world. That's what it means. There's no racism in the world. In our own country, Nigeria, Christians are being killed in northern Nigeria. Till date, Christians are still there. Till date, Christians are still going to the northern part of Nigeria. You know the story of Boko Haram and things happening in the northern part of Nigeria. This man does not feel the pain of the ordinary man. And this is a man that's leading millions of people. He's leading so many millions of people. And he does not know the pain of the people. He does not know the pain of the people. Basically, if you go by what he's saying, there is no racism in the world because there is nowhere in the world that you will not find black people. That place does not exist. Do you know what Nigerians are going through in China? In China, guess what? Nigerians are still going to China. He wouldn't have a clue. He wouldn't have a clue. Imagine saying that the protests and everything has nothing to do with racism. He wouldn't have a clue. To be honest with you, when I came across that video, I went from worrying about what is happening to this man, what has happened to this man, to saying, how do people still sit down and listen to this? Even among his followers, there are some well-educated people. There are people that must have experienced racism. He has churches all over the world, and I bet he has churches in America, definitely in the UK. And he's not going to tell me that his pastors and church members, none of them have ever experienced racism. And they are all going to sit back. I don't understand how all his church members, his followers, everything, will sit back and hear a message like this and swallow it. I don't understand it. I seriously don't understand it. Another thing that worries me is where somebody is held up so high that nobody can actually sit him down and say, bros, this thing you're saying is not correct. Why can't they say, why? They can't sit him down and talk to him and say, do they even have elders in the church that can gather together and be like, okay, we need to have a meeting. That thing you said is incorrect. That one is fine, but that one is incorrect. Why? I seriously don't even know what else to say. I seriously do not know what to say. Like, I went from worrying about him and then worrying about people that actually sit down and listen to this. What has happened to Chris Oyakhilome? What has actually happened to this man? For those of you that do not think he said it for real, I'm going to put a link for you all to check it out and hear from him word for word exactly what he said. And honestly, those that follow him, I think it's about time for you guys to, at the end of the day, this is why I always say it, follow Jesus. Follow Jesus. Human beings can be saying this today, saying that tomorrow, whatever. We are not gods. No pastor should be a god in your life. Any pastor can get it wrong sometimes. Anyways, I saw that and I wanted to come and share it. And I'll put a link. You guys go check out that video. Come back and leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about that. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.
My name is